tennis circuit on hold for a week, or oh, there you go. Oh yeah, great now, mate. Get down there. It's brilliant. January Australian Open's brilliant. Yeah, beautiful, mate.
Okay, morning, guys. We will start with the broadcast section with no embargo, followed by an embargoed section at 10:30 p.m. tonight. No live tweeting during the broadcast section. Please use microphone provided. Jeremy.
Good morning. That was quite a night last night, and after your press conference, the draw came out. It's Liverpool in the semi-final. What do you think?
Yeah, we're in it, which is the main thing, and yeah, exciting fixture. I think I could be wrong, but the recent history of the Carabao Cup, I think, could be the last X number of years. It's either been won by a Manchester club or Liverpool, so we'll have to beat all of them to get through. So great draw for us.
It was a spectacular match, and afterwards you were saying that are you not entertained when you were asked about the performance? You've been compared to Russell Crowe as Maximus in the Gladiator film. Are you a footballing gladiator?
Yeah. Top actor, Aussie, fellow Aussie. Yeah, yeah. Look, I genuinely believe that. I think there's a big part of our game that is about maybe entertainment's the wrong word, but you go to a game of football for, to kind of feel emotions that, maybe in your day-to-day existence you don't get the opportunity to, both, exhilarating and both anxious. And I think that's what we love about it. It's, I've said before, it's, there's a lot of suffering in there when you're watching a football game, but if you come out on the right side, it's an exhilarating feeling.
It was a crazy game. Can you, though, be that gung-ho on Sunday against Liverpool, who were so good?
I mean, I'm not sure what you mean by gung-ho. We'll play our football because that's what's winning us games, and that's what we'll do against Liverpool, who are a fantastic side, going really well. Arnie's come in. It's not easy when you're taking over from somebody of the status of a Jurgen Klopp, but they're very settled as a team. They've got quality within the starting 11, within the squad, and they've dealt with things. You saw them last week, and with a man down, they still have a real belief at the moment. So they're the standout team in the competition so far, but. Again, on our day when we play our football, we're pretty good opposition.
And just on the team news, Werner was unwell. Will he be okay, do you think, with Sunday, a new doggy?
Hopefully, yeah, we'll see. Obviously, boys are just coming in now at late night. So, yeah, with Timo, it was obviously unwell yesterday, so we've got 48 hours or so before the game. So hopefully he'll recover, and yeah, the plan is Destiny should be okay. Thank you.
Just a question on Archie Gray. He's played now 3 games at centre-back. Obviously, when he came in, you were aware of his talent, and he's played, obviously, at right-back for you. But putting him at centre-back, are you may be surprised at the level of performance that he's managed to achieve just being put into that position?
Well, I mean, I think he's, I said last week, I think he's been outstanding, and, we have no choice. We've got no other centre backs, So it's you put an 18-year-old kid there, but I shouldn't say 18-year-old kid because he's a man in every sense of the word, and he's handled it brilliantly, both from a footballing perspective, but also from just like I said, if you do it for one game, you can sort of get away with it, where you put a young player out of position in one game, but he's done it in multiple games now, and against some pretty decent opposition. And like I said, as an 18-year-old, he's handling it so well, and it's not like he's surrounded by experience. Yeah, obviously our goalkeeper's out, our 2 centre backs are out, our left back was out last night. So him and Radu, I think, handling it awfully well. I keep saying, you take out the goalkeeper, 2 centre backs and a left back from any team, and I'm sure it'll have effect. And the fact that our guys, I said, and it's not just about the way they're performing. Like I said, that they're still trying to play in the manner we want to play. We're not making allowances that we've got Archie at centre back or Radu, or we've got Fraser in goal, still trying to play our football. It's a credit to them.
About Fraser, you mentioned last night after the game, you said no one is more disappointed than him. Does he need picking up then ahead of Sunday, or what does a manager say to a player in that situation?
Again, there's no choice. There's a game Sunday, so we can't be sitting here worrying about, Fraser's a very experienced guy. He's, like I said, he was disappointed last night, with the way things panned out. He was outstanding for us before that and in the other games. So, you can sort of focus on those moments, or you can sort of lean back on the fact that, for the rest of it, he was outstanding. And, we just got to keep going with these things. You can sort of wallow in both, the negativity or the uncertainty or whatever, but you just got to keep going. That's my attitude to most things in life. At some point you just, I'm sure that people are having some pretty bad days out there, but they've got to put their shoes on, they've got to put their work outfit out on and go to work. Go to work and just earn. And of course we'll help Fraser like we help all the players, but we've got a big game Sunday and we need him, and I'm sure he'll be ready for it.
Just lastly, 19 goals in Tottenham's last 3 matches, either side, in domestic competition. No chance then of 0-0 on Sunday?
I'd be very surprised, mate, but you never know. You never know. That would be because they're, like I said, they're a fantastic team. They've got unbelievable attacking threats, so you're always going to be wary of that. But we're pretty good at scoring ourselves, so we'll see.
Hi, Ange, how you doing?
I'm good, mate.
Just like lots of other managers have come in and their theories have been taken on by other teams, do you think your theory, your Angeball, might be taken on by other managers? It's a thrilling style of football and one which clearly fans love to watch, neutrals love to watch.
Oh, look, I don't know. Like I said after the game last night, it's just, I guess it's the team we want to be, and some of it is around, obviously, the premise that we want to be a sort of attacking team. There's no doubt about that in everything we do, both in the way we attack, but also in the way we defend. We want to be an attacking team. Now, within that context, we still want to be successful. So it's not about discounting that important aspect to it. But I've always tried to, take sort of, for want of a better word, less travelled roads rather than, because I just think for me there's no real advantage in me trying to do what everyone else is doing or the majority are doing. I've got to do things a little bit differently so I can be, at the age of a young 59, be sitting in the Premier League after coming from Australia. And I think for us as a football club, if we're going to bridge that road to success, we've got to do things a little bit differently. It's not easy, but I still think it's the path we need to choose. And then sort of how others react to that, well, that's, again, we've got to be guided by our own principles and guided by our own signs of progress.
Regarding Fraser Forster last night, I mean, I don't know whether you'd be a manager that would necessarily put an arm around him, but in future, would you maybe encourage your defenders not to play out so much from the back until Vicario comes back in, because maybe that isn't his strength?
No, because that would give us multitudes of other problems. We're where we are and we'll continue to progress because of the way we play. I don't think we need to protect anyone in our team. I think if you go out there and play, you're kind of putting your hand up to play our way. And but we'll help players. I mean, last night, it was what we try and do is, as coaches, is give as many tools for our players to make good decisions out there. Ultimately, we can't control a game of football, managers, as much as we try to. And I'm a big believer in giving players the tools to make the best decisions out there. And I think Fraser could have made some better decisions out there. It wasn't because of us trying to play out from the back. We just made some poor decisions. I think other players made poor decisions that led up to the ball being back with Fraser before that. So that's where you go, okay, well, how can we help? We help them by showing them that, you know, there are better decisions in the way we play without going away from our football that will mean we won't have the same outcome as last night.
Finally, on a slightly lighter note, you've spoken before about how Dutch football used to influence you as a kid, but also how you were a fan, in inverted commas, of Liverpool. Just talk to us about your recollections of watching, I guess, the early 80s?
Yeah, late 70s, early 80s. Actually, my first was probably around, I think, was it 74 FA Cup, might have been, Liverpool. I loved the whole, I think back then it was kind of pass and move, Liverpool style. They used to play a lot of five-a-sides at training. I used to read about it, like digest it, and really what five-a-sides were was a modern sort of rondo. So, you know, ahead of their time, kept the ball on the deck, all the stuff I loved, mainly because my dad sort of loved the way they played. So, that was born a bit from that, and fair to say that they went away from that after a while. But yeah, no, I a lot of my sort of early recollections and enjoyment of football came from that style of game. Thank you, man.
Hi, Ange. Is Mikey Moore in the position to return to
No,
the squad?
not yet, no. I mean, he hasn't been involved, so we'll need to get at least a couple of weeks training into Mikey and get him back up to speed. But hopefully not too far away.
Yeah. How much did Jed Spence deserve that standing ovation last night for the work he's put in recent months?
Yeah, brilliant, fantastic again. You know, he's, like I said last week, he's had to bide his time. Probably deserved to play a little bit more, but kind of the situation we were in at early part of the year, you know, Archie was playing more as a sort of cover for left back and right back, and he wasn't sort of, and obviously not registered for Europe, kind of limited his opportunities, but he kept working hard at training, and I think it's brilliant that he's, like I said, it's not that he's come in and he's kind of filled a spot for us. He's actually making an impact. You know, again, he set up, played a great ball into Dom for his goal, but defensively he did an enormous job for us. He's always, physically he's outstanding, and really pleased for him, because it's not easy when you're training and you want to contribute and you don't get that opportunity. Great for him. He loved the day he signed for Tottenham. It's taken him a long time to kind of get out there, and for him to sort of feel the love of the supporters last night. Credit to him, and well deserved.
Has he proved the point in these last couple of games that he can sustain a consistency for you?
Yeah, I think so, to a certain extent. It's 2 games, always put context into this. And, for him now, it's about pushing on and, challenging the guys who are there. At some point we will have a squad, and I will have some selection issues, not at the moment. But it's great for us that, again, we've got a player who's come in in a really difficult time for us, and not just come in and sort of fill gaps, but actually made us a better team, I think.
And we saw Vicario on the pitch after the game, crutches. Just wondered how
he's a bit away.
Yeah, he's a doubt for Sunday. Just wondered how he's doing in his recovery.
Yeah, going well. Typical sort of Vic. He's pushing every boundary, mate. He's, I think, again, obviously he's still a fair bit away, but whatever sort of timeline that is, he'll make sure he's back as quickly as possible. He's still very much around the group. You saw him last night, but even at training every day, he's still very much around the group. He's so invested in what we're doing, and he's kind of helping the keepers, but also helping the whole group. He's one of the leaders, and he's progressing well.
And afterwards, you said in your interview correctly that the pundits, whatever, are probably going mad about the way the game was. Do you think the way that we talk about football and entertainment has changed? Has it become more sort of serious? Because if I think back to like when I was growing up, Newcastle, everyone loved that team, and it feels like now there's more kind of criticism of that way of playing.
I don't know if it's criticism, but there is a lot more. I think people have dived into kind of analytics and information, and it's a bit like I was saying with VAR, where they think that technology should bring perfection, and the beauty of our game is the flaws in our game. Is that's what creates moments and goals. And I think people say, Tottenham were great, but if they did this and if they did that, they would be what? If we were great, that means would be perfect, but that will never happen. And I think sometimes you just got to sit back and just say, okay, actually, that's pretty impressive. That in the last 2 games we've scored 9 goals, and against Premier League opposition, and like I said, with a fairly thin squad of players, and you've got to say, okay, well, analysis aside, it's actually it's pretty good going, and just enjoy it. Enjoy it for what it is. Because again, I just think you can and too many do overanalyze things. Like every goal has a mistake in it from an opposition player. Every goal, you can dissect the living daylights out of it. If that's what you're looking for. But that doesn't mean that that's a flaw in the system or a flaw in the game or a flaw in the model. I just think that that's a consequence of the beauty of our game. Is that as much as, like I said, us managers want to control every aspect of it, you can't, because they're human beings.
How aware are you of the kind of wider discourse? Like as a manager, do you ignore all of it, or do you think some of it's worth kind of paying attention to?
I don't ignore it, but I don't seek it. I mean, like I said, I'm still a fan of the game. So if there's stuff that will come across my desk that I find interesting, then I'll read it. I like more reading stuff that it's got a bit of substance and context to it. But yeah, things will come across the desk. But in terms of the general noise, no, I don't. I just don't think there's any benefit in me sort of jumping into that world, because, as I said, a lot of it is, just the fact that, there are a lot more platforms now for people to have an opinion, which is great, I guess, in terms of. But, is that really sort of beneficial or helpful to me, or do I get any sort of? Because I think some of it is just to provoke reaction. So. And if people think it upsets me or gets me angry, it's not kind of the way I'm wired. I've said before, I've kind of backed away from social media in its current form because I don't like it. I don't like the kind of what it brings out, and yeah, like I said, I've got the world's most silent phone, mate. So it's a blissful existence I have.
And it's been about a month since Vicario's been in goal, and since Fraser's been in goal and Vicario's been injured. Can you tell me, he's probably only made like 2 mistakes in that Man United match in the 7 games he's played. So how have you sort of appraised him? And it felt like you left the door open a little bit to a transfer in January for a goalkeeper. Is he sort of closing that door when you first got injured, Vicario?
No, I think I left it open in that, if we got another injury of the goalkeeper, then we'd definitely have to sign someone. So, yeah, but I didn't leave the door open in terms of... Look, like I said, I think Fraser's, he's done really well for us coming in. It's not easy. Anytime a kind of number 2 goalkeeper comes in, it's always, especially for an extended period of time, it's not the easiest position to come into, but I think he's handled it really well. As I expected him to. And, like I said, he was disappointed with last night, but we've got to keep that in context of, his overall performances. It's not like it's been 4 or 5 games of kind of a series of mistakes. So we keep a context of what happened last night. He still contributed to our victory, because I thought in the first half with his feet, he was outstanding. He helped us platform us to get up the park, to beat their pressure. Pulled off a good save just before they scored the first goal from Xerxes. He didn't have a lot to do, to be fair. I thought we handled it really well. But, he made a couple of poor decisions on the night, and, we'll work with him. Birch will work with him, and like I said, we've got no choice but to saddle up again on Sunday and go again.
He's been excellent in the other 6 games, especially since he's not been match fit. Like, how impressive is that? And are you comfortable with him sort of continuing maybe for another month, another 2 months in that sort of length of time?
I mean, look, like I said, at the moment, that's the situation we're in. So, it's for us to look beyond. I'm going into every game not knowing if I've got 11 fit players, mate. So for me to look beyond sort of Liverpool and Sunday, like I said, we rolled up yesterday and Timo's, not well. So Destiny had to pull out, 10 first-team players. Carabao Cup semi-final, we've got 2 players suspended from last night, which is unbelievable to me that we got yellow cards and they didn't, but that's another story. But we've got Pape and Matters, so we're 2 down from this point. So if I lose anyone else between now and then, mate, so I'll go nuts. I want to have a decent Christmas, so I'll just focus on Sunday and making sure we're 11 fit players.
Just a nice Christmassy point was Arne Slot said that your team's a joy to watch. He sort of compared it to the sort of Spurs mentality of Hoddle, Van der Vaart, Modric. He said he was such a fan that he could almost be your agent. So I just wondered if you could return the compliment to him.
My agent will be happy to hear that. No, look, I appreciate it. Kind words from somebody who is making his own impact in the game. Look, I think most fellow managers, whether they sort of agree with my approach or will kind of understand where I'm coming from or what I'm trying to do. It's, I guess, that respect is kind of mutual for me. I said last week, we've all got really difficult tasks. We've all got our own challenges. We all go about it in our own way. I admire the people who stick to their principles and have conviction about what they do, whether they're successful or not, because we're not all going to be successful as much as we'd like to. I appreciate the sentiment, and like I said, I think most managers, whether they agree with my approach or not, will kind of understand what I'm doing.
Finish the section with George, please.
On a similar point, actually, I guess, would you be more inclined to sort of listen to the opinion of someone like Arne Slot rather than a certain former Liverpool defender who's kind of telling you you've got to change, even though you've got 10 players out and you've just won 4-3?
Jamie Carragher, mate. You can name him. It's all right. He'll enjoy that. People tell me he likes me, so that's a good thing. They tell me, "Oh, did you hear what he said? But he likes you as a person." I go, "Oh, that's important to me." Look, it's all valid. It's all valid, but I don't need validation from anybody to do what I do. Whether you, like I said, whether you agree with my approach or not, that there's validity in both. And I don't have an issue with that. I mean, I love the fact that people are talking about our games and analysing our games, and I mean, I think that's important as well for this football club. I'd rather that than us be anonymous and no one talking about us, or we just sort of, grinding out an existence. I like the fact that, and as I've always said, you've got to be prepared for scrutiny, you've got to be prepared for criticism. It's how you react to that that's more important. But I don't think one is any less credible than the other in many respects. What I'm saying is I don't even need validity either way. It won't change what I believe, because what I believe is born from, a lifetime of experiences and values that I won't let anyone sort of tamper with from the outside. So, and I've said before, like, whether it's Jamie or anyone else kind of, scrutinising or criticising our approach, that's healthy, because to me, how you react to that is much more important than that itself. Because if you're going to jump it every time, then that kind of tells me, well, we don't really have a lot of belief in this building about what we're doing. If we're always going to worry about what he's saying, or we need somebody to say a good thing, or somebody, he said a bad thing. I think it's healthy if it's coming from the right sort of place. And I think, with someone like, Jamie, he's there to give his opinion. He's not going to stand there and say, well, actually, I've got nothing to say. He's going to give an opinion. Some of the other stuff I kind of that I don't understand, because I think it's just about getting some headlines and that, But again, if you react to that, then it kind of says more about yourself than anything else.
Any you want to expand on in terms of the things that you've liked, just to get a headline?
No, not really. But I mean, it's there's some stuff out there that I find. And at the appropriate time, I'll call it out, just offensive towards me. I just think, I know I'm up here, I've got a silly accent, and, I kind of, maybe they take things as seriously people want me to, and fairly dismissive of me, but that's all right. I love my life, and I'll keep doing what I'm doing, mate.
Okay, we'll end the broadcast section there, move on to the embargoed section for 10:30 p.m. tonight. Dave?